Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another edition of the Focus program. I'm Pastor D.W. Talbert, pastor of the New Hope Baptist Church, and I'm welcoming you again to another taping of our show. And we have today another great show lined up for you today. We have a very, very special guest today. As you know, we are in the political season and things are really moving towards the next election, which is coming up days away. And we have one of the candidates with us today who is running for the council position in the city of Muskegon Heights. And his name is Walter Watt. Thank you for coming, Brother Watt. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. And
yes, sir. Thank you.
I just need to correct you. I'm running for mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, for mayor. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Okay. I'm a councilman.
Ouch.
I'm a councilman right now.
That's right.
I'm reaching for higher positions so that I can represent the people at a higher level, because we need leadership in that position that will, bring back some integrity to that seat. And we can begin to trust one another and provide transparency to the community and accountability.
Okay.
Because the citizens of Muskegon Heights are one of the highest tax citizens in this county, and we have to do better. We can do better as leaders in that community to move the city forward. Okay. And, currently, our current mayor has been in leadership for 16 years, 12 as councilwoman and 4 as mayor. And I challenge anyone to ask themselves, where has the city gone in 16 years? If you're comfortable with what has happened in the city of Muskegon Heights and the way things are going, then you should vote for her. And I will support her. I would prefer to remain Councilman Walter Watt. I really, truly would, and be able to support the agenda that's being pushed forward by the mayor, and so that we can move the city forward for the best interests of the entire citizens and the entire community and all the citizens.
Okay.
And however, that's not happening.
Okay.
Therefore, I can't continue to remain a councilman and see information not flow through to all of the council people, lack of transparency. That they should get all that information to be able to make the proper decisions that's best for the community. And that's one of the things that's not happening. So we have to rebuild our trust and provide transparency and accountability in order for us to really move the city forward. Those 3 things involve everything we have to do as leaders. And every decision that we make, we must have those 3 things involved, because if we don't, we just taking votes to be voting. And I'm not one to do that.
Right. Now, are you a Muskegon Heights native?
Born and raised. Born and raised on Leahy Street, Maffett Street. Attended all Muskegon Heights public schools under Lindbergh Elementary under the direction of Miss Parks and some of the wonderful teachers there, Miss Kelly and Mr. Cosby. Attended Muskegon Heights Middle School under the leadership of Mr. Nathaniel Allen and Mr. Alexander Davis. These were some tough guys that led us in a good way, with some of the wonderful teachers there as well. And I also attended Muskegon Heights Muskegon Heights High School under the leadership of Mr. Carl Weston and O.C. McCarty. Those people, those educators led us and taught us well and gave us a sense of pride that is unmatched in this area. So my commitment, my love for my community is unmatched. No one could, the passion that I have for doing things correctly and making sure that the citizens benefit as opposed to leaders or anyone else outside our community is what's most important. And a lot of times I question those things, question the way those things are happening. We as leaders must serve the people. We must always have their best interests at heart with every decision we make. And some of the decisions that have come across the council chambers and in that city hall, and some of the votes that have been taken, I can't believe. So when they don't work out, and it's, and you feel in your heart that it's the best, that was a wrong vote, you have to still have the passion and desire to continue to fight to try to reverse those things. And we've had some votes that came across that just wasn't right, particularly one incident when the city council and the mayor supported turning off citizens' water just so we can change out water meters. I vehemently opposed that because we had other options that we could do it without turning off anyone's water. I mean, that's just inhumane. And for the council and the mayor to support doing that, it was just not right. And they entrusted the company that was hired to do callbacks to the city to let them know if they had called in and made their appointment so they can change the meter out. And if they did, they were supposed to call back to the city and a correlation there to avoid the shutoffs. Well, that was not happening. And I was the first, I purposely allowed for my meters, the notice, I purposely received the notice, the third notice, so that I could see what happens. And sure enough, it was a perfect storm. They didn't do what they were supposed to do, and as a result, the city was coming to turn off my water because they thought I had not called to make my appointment, and I had. And at that point, I was able to get an emergency meeting and get those shutoffs stopped immediately.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, being a Muskegon Heights native and for many years, you've seen a lot of changes in the community, no doubt, and how the community has evolved over the last few decades. What are some of those changes, and how do you think that those are affecting the citizens of Muskegon Heights?
Well, the youth. Our youth is totally different from what it was when I was growing up. And, I moved away from Muskegon Heights and Muskegon area for 20-some years.
Okay.
I attended Western Michigan University straight out of high school, and from there, when I graduated, I started my career at E.J. Brock's Corporation, where I was a salesman and excelled, had Salesman of the Year awards on several years. I then moved on to Detroit area, and I started working as an account salesman with Gerber Products Company and excelled in sales as well there. And from there, I took my career to pharmaceutical sales, and I was a pharmaceutical salesman for 10 years. And again, I was Salesman of the Year, District Sales Rep of the Year on several occasions. And that speaks to my ability. Okay. And the ability to sell our community. But some of the things, back to your question, our youth are destroying themselves with bad decisions. This gun violence that we have in the community, we didn't have when I was growing up.
Okay,
it just was not something, we knuckled up.
Right.
If you got beat down, you came back and was friends the next day. Yeah. That's just not what's happening. It's a totally different mentality, and it's spreading. You've always had good kids, those that need more help than others, and challenging. And this mentality of toting and carrying guns, you have some kids that come from good families that are being raised properly, that are making a bad decision to carry guns because they don't feel safe. They feel as though they have to protect themselves from those that are carrying them and would use them. And that's a bad situation we're in right now. So we have to find a way to discourage that behavior and turn it around to where they can see that there's other options that you have, but we must help them. Right. I mean, we must make our community safe again. We must deal with the crime problem. We must work with our police chief and provide ideas. We as the leaders, it's not just the police job the chief of police to come up with the solutions to solve the crime problem. It is our job as leaders to provide ideas and information and work with him and come together and set ordinances that work to serve the community and make it safer. And that's the things that we as leaders should be doing, and it's not happening. Okay. But I've been away. I was away from Muskegon for 20-something. I've been back now for about 11 years. Okay.
One of the things that creates and sustains a viable community, of course, of business and industry. Is the city looking in that direction, and what kind of goals or aspirations might a Watt administration have toward that end?
Well, I'm going to work with our current business community and help them find ways that they can expand and grow. And as well, we have to find new avenues to bring back business to our community. We have to look at what assets we have and sell those assets and promote those assets with the outside business community or those that's within our community to try and utilize that asset. Our best asset is our water. And for the life of me, for all these years, why hasn't anyone tried to market that water? And Walter White administration is going to shake some hands and talk to some people that has power and ability to look at what we have as an asset and see how we can promote it and make it better. We should be selling our water, not just to those customers that left, but to other outside customers that, we have ability to do. Bottled water. I mean, where does this come from? Somebody's marketing it.
Right.
We have a filtration system. We can do this. And I'm going to be talking to some people about trying to do that. In fact, I'm also a member of Alpha fraternity, and just last week we had our 100th centennial anniversary in Gamma Lambda chapter in Detroit.
Okay.
And I was able to meet with one of our, prestigious brothers, Bill Picard. He's one of the most powerful, influential men in Michigan, business owner.
Okay.
And he has a lot of power and influence. And I was able to talk to him and let him know that I'm running for mayor of the city of Muskegon Heights. And once I win, I want to talk to him about some business opportunity that can help expand his business catalog.
Right.
And he's like, well, when you win, you call me, brother. He's a very good brother. We went to Western Michigan University as well. That's where I pledged. That's where he pledged. So the connection is there.
Okay.
It's just a matter of putting something in place and having. He's an outstanding businessman.
Okay.
So some shoddy ain't gonna work.
Yeah, right,
You have to have your stuff together. So I'm going to be making that connection and seeing what opportunities we can put before him that he would be interested in.
Yeah, because that's very, very, very helpful to any community. It develops the tax base, and of course it provides jobs and the goods and services.
Exactly.
That are definitely needed in every community that is growing and thriving. Yeah, it's definitely needed. Now, you mentioned that your taxes are high in Muskegon Heights. Is there a plan to attack that? How do you approach that?
How do you attack that is get more businesses. You bring back residents to your community because as they're leaving, taxes base is leaving. And, we have a startling statistic that, 10 years ago, 2010, we had a 51.3% home ownership.
Okay.
That's now down to 49%. That is a troubling trend. If we are to sustain that community for the citizens. We must reverse that. We must provide affordable housing, middle income and affordable housing so that we can bring citizens back. And as I have been out campaigning throughout the community in the northeast area up near Muskegon Family Care, we have some beautiful neighborhoods over there. Homeowners that care for their property, that take care of their homes and land, and a lot of empty lots. So what that tells me is we can develop new homes in those areas, and we can get good middle income citizens back into the community. But we must start. We must make our community safe and clean of any crime and drugs.
Okay, right. There's we all know of the struggles of the Muskegon Heights Academy. Is there an opportunity for the city to partner with the school to basically help one another?
Yeah, well, that is a challenging issue, and it's going to have to be a partnership. We're going to have to come to the table and have some discussions about how do we fix, how do we improve, and how do we restore the roar back to what it used to be. Because right now, there are some challenges at the school, and we have to put all the good minds in our community at the table. Right now, they're not there. Everyone's not at the table. And one of the reasons is, council meetings are on Mondays. School board meetings are on Mondays.
Oh, wow.
So you have a conflict where the leaders in the community from the city can't be involved with the discussions that they're having at the schools. And I have brought this up many times and trying to get us to consider changing the dates in which we have council meetings so that we can be a part of that discussion. But at some point, and I was just recently at the MML meeting in Detroit for the community leaders throughout the state.
Okay.
And one of the breakout rooms, there was discussion with one community, what they were doing. And it was brought to the school board, brought up that the school board and the city leaders, they decided to have monthly blended meetings.
Okay.
And that's a good idea. We have to have some type of skin in the game with the school and get them to understand that if the school goes, the community goes. The first thing that any citizen looks at when they're moving into a community is the public school system.
You are right.
And if that is broken 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 times out of 10, they're not going to move there.
Right.
So, and we have a good story in Muskegon Heights. We have an affordable story, meaning you can afford to live in Muskegon Heights in a nice home and not break the bank.
Okay.
You know, not tear your pocket apart.
Right.
And we have to start selling that story, but we also have to start redeveloping our community, start making them safe again, and start, providing services in the way that we should that keep citizens happy with the leadership and things that we're doing. We take a lot of heat, and being in leadership is not hard. I mean, not easy.
Right.
It's a tough job, and I give praise to anyone that chooses to get into leadership, because you're going to be criticized, you're going to be ridiculed, but you got to be tough. You got to have passion for what you're doing, and know that sometimes you're going to get it wrong. But when you get it wrong, you got to always work to make it right. We're not perfect.
Right.
So that's what Walk to Watt would do.
Okay. Good. Yeah, you are so right about the the viability of a community anchored in the school system.
Yes.
It is so very true. Even a neighborhood, when you remove a neighborhood school out of that environment, and the neighborhood begins to crumble.
Yeah, and a bigger issue and point that we have too about the schools. Muskegon Heights is still paying for the old school. We're taxed on that, and the new school as well.
Okay.
But I heard a troubling fact that every single day, over 900 plus students are bused out of the city of Muskegon Heights to other districts.
Oh, man.
Do the math on 900 students at $7,200. That's just a Brown Park figure about where per student dollars is. 72. Do the math on that. That's a district.
Yeah.
That is wonderful, excellent teachers. That is excellent leadership. That is safe environments.
Right.
That is everything that all of the parents are choosing to take their students out of that we could provide if they were to bring them back, and we had those dollars in the school system. So, but again, we have to have the right leadership in place, and we have to have that conversation at the table amongst all the leaders.
That's good. Now, under a Watt administration, does that signal unity for the council as a whole?
Well,
I'm pretty sure you're interested in working together with the entire council to bring about harmony as much as possible.
Yes. I'm glad you asked that question or made that statement, because that's going to be the first thing I do.
Okay.
Because again, we don't have the trust there. Right now, we're a divided council.
Okay.
And a divided council is like a divided home. You're not going to stand. Eventually, things are just going to go, array, and you're just not going to be able to move forward like you can if you were unified.
Right.
So the first thing I'm going to do is unite our council. And how will I do that? What I would do is, as mayor, information flows to the mayor. And the form of government that the city of Muskegon Heights has set up is we are a weak mayor form of government, which means the mayor has one vote and one voice, just like every council person. The city manager is the manager of the city, runs the day-to-day operations and everything that entails and involves developing and moving the city forward. However, we are to provide a vision for the direction in which we want the city to go. That's what a lot of people don't understand about the form of government. And what happens a lot now is information will flow to the mayor's desk, and it will not get passed along to council. We don't know anything about what's going on, what's happening, and as a result of that, opportunities are missed. Things get pushed under a rug that should be discussed, and we're not privy to all the information we need to have to make the proper decisions. So under a walk-to-wide administration, I'm going to make sure that when information comes to me, it immediately goes to the city manager, which is what should happen. The city manager should then disperse all of that information to all the mayor and council. So we all got all information to have a discussion about what it is on the table. I'm going to, so as mayor as well, mayor is often invited to many important meetings, and again, that information may not leave outside that meeting door.
Okay.
So what I will be doing when I become mayor is appointing or recommending to council that they provide a representative from council to go along with the mayor to any and every meeting that I am invited to, and including with the city manager. Therefore, you have some transparency on the discussions at all times, and it holds everyone accountable. Everybody's accountable at the table now. So the council knows the information firsthand from the beginning.
Okay.
You don't have to depend on the mayor to tell me anything because I was there with him. Right now, that's not happening. Okay. So that way, trust can be built with the council. It can unify us, and we can begin to make proper decisions with all the information that we have. The city of Muskegon Heights has missed out on too many good opportunities that would have changed the landscape of our community. The Strand building, they had an opportunity years ago while the current mayor was on this council to sell that building to one of our very own citizens, and they were going to redevelop it to what it was, with apartments above, retail shops below, and the theater itself.
Okay.
For whatever reason, this individual had the money, the resources, and the backing to do exactly what he said he was going to do. And politics, and I don't know, jealousy and envy or whatever it might be, I don't know, I can't tell you why, stop that deal. And if I was a part of that council, even if I wasn't mayor, I would have been fighting tooth and nail anyone that was opposing that opportunity that was before this city, because that, had it been done then, our downtown would look totally different from what it looks like right now. It would have been a catalyst for many other opportunities to come later. And that was just not a good business decision by the leaders at that time. And then you fast forward to even today. You look at the King School deal. That opportunity just was dropped. The ball was dropped by the mayor herself. And I don't mean to sound as though I'm speaking of ill of the mayor. I'm not. I want to support her. However, dropping the ball on that King School deal with Muskegon Family Care was just something that should never have happened, and I can speak more to that if you like.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. You know, along the lines of the what we were talking about before, and how the city can kind of partner with the school system and solve some problems there. Are there opportunities likewise with surrounding communities to partner with some of the surrounding communities in any way? I know they do some policing together, and they're helping out in those directions, and so is Muskegon Heights lending their services as well. But are there other avenues, other opportunities? Well,
there are always opportunities to collaborate on things, and my hope is that, you know, with eventually, we all know that there's going to one day be a casino in Muskegon. And however, it's not going to be in Muskegon Heights. It's going to be down the road, which is, you know, the way things happen a lot around the communities, our communities. We're blocked in with the businesses on the outside, and we end up having to go and do all of our patronizing on the outside of our own community.
Okay.
So we all know that. So we have to find a way to partner with outside entities. The county is representative of all the communities in the county. So we have to have skin at the table on all the opportunities that are available, and sell our city, and have someone that's at that table fighting on our behalf to bring businesses back to our community and build in our community. Dig some holes in Muskegon Heights. We have land, we have availability, and as a result, you know, that would help improve our community. So yes, partnerships are always important, but however, we cannot be a stepchild.
Okay.
We cannot be treated as a stepchild in the county. We have to come at the table with equal arms and have fair discussions of what's best. And because as Muskegon Heights goes, the county goes. You know, you improve Muskegon Heights, the county improves.
Right.
So we have to find a way to present that mentality because right now that's not what's happening.
Okay. Well, you know, we're just about moving out of time. It goes by so fast.
Quick?
But
I didn't get to the good part.
Well, let's get to the good part real quick.
Well, I would just like to touch on the issue about King School.
Okay.
That was a very good opportunity for the city. Again, as I speak about the trust, the transparency, and the accountability, and the balls being dropped with these wonderful opportunities that come across. Okay. I wasn't a part of council at the time, and I find out all this information as when I got on council.
Okay.
The council had made a decision to buy the King School from the state land bank. And turn around and sell it to Muskegon Family Care so that they can develop it into a medical facility and make it as redevelop the building.
Okay.
Well, when they bought the building, the mayor then told council that there was another buyer. At that point, it really shouldn't have mattered. The building was bought by the city with the intent of selling it immediately to Muskegon Family Care. And I've seen the letter from Ms. Bridges outlining the details of the deal, which they had said that they had the money readily available and they want to move expeditiously with getting this deal closed. And on top of that, they had agreed to allow the city to continue to use that green space so that the children and the kids could continue to use that field for football practice while Family Care maintained and kept it clean.
Okay.
So a win-win-win.
Okay.
Redevelopment in the community, going to provide jobs and opportunities for those living within the community. They're going to allow the kids to use the green space, and they're going to take care of it. I don't know if you ever seen how beautiful that facility is up there on Getty Street, but imagine King School looking like that as opposed to what it looks like now. And that deal is solely in the hands of the mayor, and we still don't know who that buyer that she said was that wanted to buy the building after the deal had been after the building had been purchased by the city. That type of backdoor type dealings after the fact is just not right.
Right, yeah.
That is a loss for the citizens of Muskegon Heights. We have to missed opportunity with the Strand building, missed opportunity with King School. We can't afford to keep missing deals. We got to find someone, put someone in a leadership role that will move those deals forward. Walter Watt will not drop the ball. I will not allow any good opportunities for my community to be missed. And I'm going to involve all of the leadership at the decision table so that we can have trust, transparency, and accountability to make sure those things are done.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Thank you so much, Brother Watt. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come and share with us on the Focus program.
Thank you for having me.
And share with us your aspirations for the position of mayor in Muskegon Heights. And we know that the city is going to prosper. It's our prayer that God will prosper the city. If there be a Watt administration, that it will go higher than it ever has before.
I appreciate it.
And so we wish you the best, and Godspeed to you and your campaign and our great city.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
And we want to thank our viewing audience for tuning in once again with us on another edition of the Focus program. And as we prepare to leave, remember, always remember, and never forget, when you get with Jesus,